You don't want to talk. I was going to tell him I took the goddamn revolver out today for a spin. More than a spin, I shot 2 cartridges with the bullets, um, which is quite expensive. I pay $8 for 1 round, so it was a $16 shooting experience. $16 is how much. Usually it only costs 25 cents per round. Due to my antique classification, to get these rounds that are capable of being shot with my antique, I have to pay a premium price, $8. So it's 800 times, or around $8. Okay, around. So I shot it twice, and it was $16. Then wow, did she buck? It was. I used to own a 22 down in Tennessee. I've never shot in a 32 before. I've shot in a 357, a big 357. I shot in some other stuff. I've even shot in a 22, small 22, but wow, nothing like the 32. It's bigger than the 22. It sounds louder than the 22. The funny thing is it's called the Terror, and that's what it sounds like. When you pull back that hammer, it locks into position and it's ready to shoot, and you click that trigger, or you pull that trigger, and that hammer strikes it. It's got a very strong hammer. I actually have the discharged casings here. They stay inside the cylinder, which is really nice. As I did a lot of research and read about it and whatnot, that there are certain firearms eject the casing. Certain firearms, like this one, keep it within the cylinder, and I have to remove it afterwards. It's quite of a process to remove the cylinder. I learned. Sorry, not the cylinder. That's a process to remove the cylinder, yes, but you do generally have to remove the cylinder to take out the spent casings. But you don't have to. I guess I would have to buy another rod. Well, I guess that's what this rod here is for, and you can pull it out and push spent casings out the speed reload. But I haven't dealt with a real firearm that shoots cartridges or what have you, or a firearm that with the bullet casing and the cartridge and the hammer and everything with the firing mechanism like that. But you deal with the powder. It has powder inside the cartridges. So whenever you fire this gun, it's different than an air gun, because I've been dealing with air guns the past 10 years. Came back to Canada. I had some experience with these type of firearms in the United States, and that's where this one comes from, is the United States. And these are what are known as a gun or a firearm. It's like it's the most, I guess, generally what is a gun or what have you. It's with the bullet and the powder in it. But whenever you shoot it, the powder, and I've watched a lot of, what do you call them? They documentaries where they talk about firearms once they're used. The gunpowder gets not only on the gun and in the gun, but on the people. When it discharges the gunpowder, it goes. So when I discharged the 2 cartridges, I was surprised when I got home. I could smell it and all that, but I was surprised when I disassembled that there was some cleaning to do. off of just the two cartridges. You had powder residue on the cylinder. I did powder residue, little bits into the barrel. You had the spent cartridges. You had to take them out, and it was a little mess. So I wiped it down, and it was. So I didn't know that you had to clean it every time you shot it. I didn't understand that. I guess when I was a kid, I used to shoot my 22 all the time. Rifles, I don't think you have to clean them as much, but this one's so easy to clean. It's right in your hands. It's a revolver. I always wanted a revolver. My dad had a 22 revolver. That wasn't big. I always wanted a 38 revolver. I couldn't get a 38. They didn't have one good. Well, actually, they had one for $695, antique. That was, but it wasn't as good condition as this one. This one was in a much better condition. So this one was 32. So you're still in your 30s. So 30s it's a famous caliber. You got 32, 38. You got 30, just 30. That's it. So very happy to be here in Canada. It's got the maple walnut grips. No, not maple walnut. Just walnut grips, and they're in great condition. It's so fascinating. It comes from the United States of America. I feel so privileged. I just got off the phone with a gentleman that how would I put it? I just feel so privileged that I'm a gun owner, and and I hold, me and my family, my dad and me hold the statues to such a degree that I've never screwed up or whatever. Like, he lives in the United States, but he can't own a gun because he's a convicted felon. StacksAMilli is not a convicted felon. And that's one cool thing. I'm almost 30 years old, 28 years old. And you know what? Now I'm a lot more humbled, I feel like. Um, where I don't need to be getting in any trouble like these other ones. I mean, all they do is get in trouble. I just talked to Condon. He says, "Oh, I've been to O'Hare Airport before," um, and he says, "Oh, you'd get blown down at O'Hare Airport." I said, "What the hell?" See, and he's a convicted felon, and he's saying I would get blown down. And the funny thing is, he's not even a gun owner. So what would he blow me down with? All right. And that's the reality of some of them now. Everybody, after COVID-19, it's like this guy who says he's a killer and shooter and his name's Co-Killer, but this guy doesn't have a gun. He's a convicted felon, and if he gets caught with one, he's back to prison. And that's the position they put themselves in because they do stupid stuff. Like turn on people that they shouldn't have turned on, or they took the easy way, like hurting people. Hey, that's not even an easy way. That's just stupidity. To hurt people for profit, physically. But what was I going to say? Yeah. But anyways. But yeah, but that's why I don't associate myself with them. I sometimes get in a call with them, maybe do an undercover agent little gig. See what's going on with them or whatever, but the streets are going to heat up again with that Condon, I think, maybe. Unless we can do. He seems like he was getting along. He had his family there, I think, and they were just getting along. Everybody's on these conditions. My friend MK Terminator's on conditions. I was on conditions. I used to be on conditions. So you can get off your conditions. Because it was hard as hell to get off these conditions. You got to learn your lesson. And that's what you're supposed to do in jail. Read the Bible, learn your lesson, all that. Learn what is the process to this Christian-based system in which we live in. You have to learn the religions. You have to learn. It's more than just Christian. Learn the religions. Learn what. Hey, they let you learn. You can learn whichever ones you want. You got Islam. You got Christianity. You got whatever religion, and go and practice and follow that, and maybe you'll figure it out.